Dare turned into a f-king session and me creaming and eating out my own sister.
What?
My sister finally gave my hot dog some treatment, so
Son pounded me after catching me pleasuring myself.
TikTok story time. I'm pretty sure you all came across TikTok where I heard the most wildest thing ever, right? So, y'all, skitty gang. In today's video, we'll be looking at the craziest TikTok stories times I've ever seen. One time, you was a kid and I was a kid. We used to rock, we'd have mom in our arms, rock your way to sleep. Maybe your mom was in your life. If she wasn't, I'm sorry. But like I was saying, I had one story time where it was two black dudes clapping cheeks. But yeah, skitty gang. If y'all boys enjoyed the video, make sure y'all boys leave a like, subscribe to the channel, man. I love you guys so much. We're live on Twitch, ZarsYT. Follow my Twitch. Get straight to the video, man.
I busted a fat load in my sister. This all started when she got stuck in the washing machine.
You did what? You in a wait, let's run it back.
I busted a fat load in my sister. This all started when she got stuck in the washing machine, so like any normal 10-year-old would, I gave her some dummy back shots. For some back...
Bro, like, what do you mean by that? You busted a load of your sister because she got stuck in the washing machine, bro? What is this TikTok Reddit, bruh? Me
and my stepsister and I have always had a friendly relationship. She's a...
Oh, she's a stepsister, so hold on. Okay, so maybe this story can check out. Maybe.
A few years older than me, and I can't deny that she's pretty attractive. She's got this long, wavy hair that frames her face perfectly, but most importantly she got some humongous mommy milkers. Holy moly, I could waterboat them for hours, but anyways, I've never thought of her in that way, of course. But a few days ago, I was home alone just chilling on the couch when I heard some noise coming from the laundry room. I went to investigate and found my stepsister stuck in the washing machine.
Now let's be honest, okay? If you got a baddie stepsister, right? Let's see, y'all not letting no way at all. If she bad, would you still hit? Yes or no? You'll comment out yes or no. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna think. How about this? I'm gonna tell y'all boys what I think on stream. Come follow my Twitch. I'll be live later. I'm gonna tell y'all boys what I think about that, okay? What I would do, okay? ZarsYT, by the way.
Her body was fully wedged in there. She must have been trying to reach something that had fallen behind the machine. Her behind was sticking out, facing me. I rushed towards her, panicking that she could be hurt. I grabbed her waist and started pulling.
That boy finna go crazy. He even started clapping, bro. I ain't gonna lie, she's stepsister though, so I don't see no. Hey, it ain't that crazy. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that crazy.
Trying to get her unstuck. I honestly think she got stuck due to her mommy milkers being so huge. As I felt her soft skin and the curve of her body beneath my hands, I started to lose control. So I told her that I'd seen this before in a movie, and the only way to get her unstuck was by the power of back shots. Surprisingly.
Bro, that's manipulation right there to get what you want. That's insane. That's insane.
She agreed, and I started taking her to Pound Town. Holy guacamole, did she have a gorilla grip. I almost passed out.
Golly.
Sadly, this didn't work, so like any 10-year-old, I turned on the washing machine and went back to watching TV.
What? You just say 10 years old? What are you? 10 years old? 10 years old? You what? Hey, I take back everything I just said. I take back everything I just said. I take it all back. I take back everything I said. I did not know she was 10, my boy. I don't condone none of that. Wild comment. Yo, good again. Comment down wild if you see this. That's crazy work. Crazy freaking work.
I told my son I was attracted to him, however he ended up plowing deep into me. I had my son when I was quite young. Throughout his life, we have been very close to each other. Because of his age gap between his younger siblings, he took on the role and helped raise them with us. When my husband passed, I looked to my son for support in our family as he was now the man of the house. I was by no means without a job, but I needed him for help around the house and more importantly, emotionally. Shortly after my husband passed and we were done
What do you mean emotionally though?
grieving for the most part, I started asking my son to sleep in my bed with me. I needed
What do you mean?
Someone to be beside me, hold me, and sleep with me. It didn't take long before there started to be a noticeable tension between us. When we would talk to each other about our day, we would sit very close to each other. One of those times, we leaned in and embraced each other. After a few very awkward...
Yo, what is he doing in the video? Yo, what is he doing? Why he stroking that thing in the background? You don't even see that, bro. I'm looking at that joint right now.
Moments, things became serious. In the months after, we normalized a lot of frisky stuff. We both needed emotional and physical support, and we were both there for each other. Yes, we caught each other playing off quite a bit during this period too.
You caught each other doing what now? Excuse me? With your son?
We now completely shared a room. The tension between us was getting fierce at this point, so I decided to do something about it. I sat down with my son late at night when we usually talk and hang out, and I brought up the topic of the deed, but I didn't expect what he would say next. Press share and more for part.
Bro, that's insane, bro.
I caught my husband giving my daughter some devious back shots.
TikTok being banned on sound, it don't sound too crazy at all, actually. You know what I mean?
And now I don't know what to do. For some backstory, me and my husband have a 14-year-old daughter and she always grew up kinda ugly. But recently she started mewing and looks maxing, and she has had a huge glow up. Not to mention her huge guyat and watermelons.
You're looking at your daughter's, chest, bro. That's kind of crazy work.
I'm quite jealous, to be honest. I don't know where she got those from because I'm flat as a pancake. So I notice a lot more boys taking interest in her, including my husband. I noticed that he would hug her all the time and smack her guyat.
Yo, imagine hugging your daughter who's 14. Bro, you said who's 14, smacking her butt and hugging her because she got oh my, yo. Send this guy to jail. Jail time, buddy. Jail time.
I just brushed it off to fatherly love. I even started to smack her guyat, it's so big. But when I walked into the house and heard clapping that was so loud that the house was almost shaking. It felt like 9/11 all over again.
These details, why is it so detailed?
I walked in my room to my husband blowing out our daughter's back. I've never been so shocked in my life. But after all, my daughter has got her huge guyat, she had to get phantom taxed somehow.
Bro, nah, bro, what is this? What is this commentary? What does phantom tax have to do with this at all? Like,
so I just said, save some for me, and got right in there. I enjoyed it so much, and my husband blew his load everywhere. We now do this weekly. Am I a bad person for this?
Yeah, you are. You're disgusting. You're having a threesome with your 14-year-old daughter. Your husband. Why?
My sister touched me. My mom caught her in the act. I thought she was gonna help, but then she joined in.
What?
When my dad came home, he saw what was going on and looked shocked, but he sat back and started recording.
You did what? Why is the whole house having a Diddy party? A freak off right now, bro. Why?
Eventually he jumped in and stopped it. He sent the recording to a family GC, so now the whole family knows what happened.
Why would he do
I thought
that?
they would have shunned them. But I never expected them to cut ties with me too. Maybe they think it runs in the family or something. Since we are from Alabama.
Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That makes so much sense.
From that moment on, I moved out and life was on a decline. I couldn't move with any of my family members and I could barely afford an apartment. My dad was with me at first, but one day he said he had to go get milk. He never came back with the milk.
Bro, this is a weird family, bro. That video of them doing a whole freak off will live on forever, my boy. I ain't like that's not going nowhere.
I busted on my mom.
You did what?
I'm fully aware that this sounds crazy, and no, she isn't my stepmom or anything. She is
That just made it 10 times worse. That made it 10 times worse. That's weird, buddy.
my blood mother. I don't know why I'm posting this. Maybe I just needed to get it out, or if I'm lucky, maybe someone will understand.
Nobody will understand that. Nobody will understand. There is no justice for that behavior, my boy. None at all.
Real we ain't just got the wit of a ticket.
My dad left when I was really young, so me and my mom have been thugging it out by ourselves for a while.
You've been
It isn't all bad though. We grew really close, and although she didn't receive any child support, she was able to take care of me. I always admired my mom, and now that I have a great stay-at-home job, I live with her and take care of her. I can tell she really appreciates it, and we've been getting closer than ever. When I turned 18, she said she sees me as a man now. Made me blush. I started to come lay with her sometimes like the good old days. And now that I'm older, we do a lot more. Last night after my 21st birthday party, we came home with drinks. I've never seen her even slightly tipsy before, so it was a new experience. We were watching a movie together, then out of nowhere she told me to show her how much of a man I am. I didn't understand at first until she opened her mouth. I went all in, and now we do this every day.
Every day? Excuse me?
My brother plowed the heck out of me at school.
Huh?
This is just a throwaway account for obvious reasons. For some context, I'm 19, my brother is 21, we were both in university at this time. I was a freshie because I chose to take a year off. I'm the most basic of basic Chinese girls, black hair, dark brown eyes, short as heck, barely 5'2".
W Build is crazy game. I mean, W Build, man.
Anyways, it wasn't something that just sprung up like, hey, I'm going to plow you in school. It was actually the day before that, which kind of led up to it. Me and brother both got into the same university and he let me stay at his apartment that he rented out after I took my 1-year break. Anyways, after living together for a while, honestly probably only like a week or so, it was pretty obvious he was attracted towards me, even when he had his girlfriend over. He would only really look at me.
Mans, bro. Poor girlfriend, bro. Real talk.
Even though his girlfriend was like way hotter than me. If I said I didn't like it, I would be lying. There's just something really exciting about your brother choosing you over his girlfriend. Then I started to get a bit carried away. I started wearing tighter and tighter clothes in the apartment, not wear a bra. We slept in the same room, but I slept on the bed while he was on the ground, so I started to play with myself. I know it sounds wrong and it probably was, but I really wanted to mess with my brother. Then one day I managed to get a hold of his phone unlocked and peeked inside his search history. What I saw shocked me. There was a lot of sister videos on his incognito tabs. So, the
sister videos? Huh?
Same day I asked him if he wants to share the bed with me since he sleeps on the floor. He said sure. When we were in bed I felt something poking my thigh. I looked behind and it was my brother's Johnson.
Weird, buddy. Coming out weird if you see this, man. That's crazy work.
My sister finally gave my hot dog some treatment. So a little background. We are full.
Why did that come off so strong just then? That was literally the first 3 seconds. I just spit on the camera. It's first 3 seconds. Always some sus already, bro.
Blood siblings, same mom and same dad. We still all live at home together just while I'm waiting for my house to be built. I'm 26 and honestly I would say looks wise I'm an 8. Without being too cocky, my body is my best feature. My little sister is 22 and on the chubby side. She has a very beautiful face, but
oh, that means she a big body. Hey yo, we love our big bodies around here, man. Hey, sometimes you gotta take one for the team. Me personally, I'm not doing that.
No milkers or cheeks for someone her size. Anyway, this all started about 8 months ago when I finished up at the gym earlier than usual because I hurt my ankle. I trained Muay Thai for context. Mom and dad were out of town on a camping trip, so it was just me and my sister. On the way home from the gym I decided to pick up a few things for dinner and surprise my sister, as she had been doing most of the cooking since our parents left. What I didn't know is that she had invited a guy over, which I realized almost immediately after walking in the door because of the noises that were coming from her room.
Noises from our room? Dude, why? Listen, bro, this already getting a little crazy right now, man. This song gives a true story, respectfully.
Ignored it at first and started cooking, hoping they would be finished soon. After about 20 minutes they were still going at it, so I, without thinking about it, I shouted, "Dinner is almost ready. Hurry up." The poor guy she had over left almost right away without saying anything. The awkward silence we had while eating dinner was too much for me to handle, so just being a smart nerd I looked at my sister and said, "Sounds like you had fun." She just smirked and told me to frick off before running to the shower. We didn't speak for the rest of the night. I had to be up early for work in the morning, so when I woke up I went and had a shower. Seeing as my sister never gets out of bed before 8, I figured I was safe.
Yo, mind what they're doing. What is this dude? Why does this man making a glizzy taco, bro? A glizzy taco. What is this man making in the background, though?
Safe to do the naked run back to my bed. When I opened the door she was right there.
Oh,
I saw her glance down and she let out the faintest "oh." Embarrassed with what just happened, I covered myself with my hands and made my way to my room without saying a word. Press share and more for part 2.
What you mean press share and more for part 2? What are you talking about for part 2, dude? I want the whole story, my boy. I hate when they do this, bro. They hate when they do that, bro. It's so annoying.
Dare turned into a effing session and me creaming and eating out my own sister.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean? I beg your finest pardon? You said you would what? To your sister? Hey, what? That's some sweet home Alabama stuff right there, good gang. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's crazy work. Everybody coming out crazy work if you see this.
Thing happened last week. Something. So while they had to share, my older sister Rachel and I were home alone. Our parents were out of town and it was a typical lazy afternoon. I was in my room trying out this crazy new app called Per Notifier, which could address photos. I was amusing myself with celebrity pictures and processing how my crushes would look like without.
Bro's down bad, man.
Up close. Rachel, 2 years older than me, was in her room. She was always the playful type. But what happened that day was way beyond innocent play. She knocked on my door and walked in wearing a short bathrobe. I quickly minimized the app and looked at her. "Hey, what's up?" I asked casually. "Hey, Mark, can I borrow your phone charger?" She replied, sitting on my bed.
Wait, okay, pause. This mac and cheese looks good, bro. It look good as hell, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all wanna buy it at John. That thing look mad, nice and creamy, bro. I want some mac and cheese now, bro. Real talk. Who else grilled me? No, that food looks so good.
"Sure. It's over there." I pointed to my desk as she leaned over to grab the charger. Her robe slightly opened, revealing a hint of her curves. I couldn't help but steal a glance. She caught me and smirked. "Like what you see, bro?" I blushed and shrugged, trying to play it cool. But then she did something unexpected. Rachel let her robe hang open a little more as she sat cross-legged on my bed. She bit her lower lip and said, "Mark, I'm really bored. Want to play a game?" "What kind of game?" I asked, my voice barely audible. "How about a dare game? I dare you to tell me your deepest fantasy."
Yo, what kind of game does she want to play with her brother on the bed half naked, bro? What kind of game you want to play? That's kind of crazy, right?
She giggled. What the flip? I hesitated, but then thought it was harmless. Okay. I sometimes fantasize about public stuff, I muttered. She grinned, her eyes twinkling. Interesting. Your turn to dare me. I dare you to show me a little more, I said boldly, carried away in the moment. Rachel didn't flinch. She let her robe fall open, revealing her breasts. My heart raced and I felt my face getting hot. Your turn for a dare, I whispered. My voice was husky. Tell me if you have any photos of me in a bikini on your phone. She smirked. Yeah, I have some. I tried to sound cool, but I was stumbling around like a boy. It seemed to electrocute her, and she became visibly even more excited than before. Then I dared her to touch herself.
You dared your sister to do what? You want your sister to touch herself? You want your sister to touch herself? Sweet home Alabama.
Never believing she would actually do it, but then she did.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. You know what? I don't even care to see part 2 because that sounded a little too crazy for me, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Son pounded me after catching me pleasuring myself. I
beg your pardon. What did she just say?
Son pounded me after catching me pleasuring myself. I, 42F, have.
Your son pounded you after you got caught. Bro, these stories are crazy, man. TikTok, I see why it's getting banned now. I see why it's getting banned.
Been single for 5 years, since my partner passed away. My son, 26M, came home to visit, while he thinks about moving back to my town. I have since moved into a small 1-bedroom apartment, so there was no real room for him, but he's only staying 2 weeks. I haven't seen him in over a year, even though we talk every week. He and I are very close. When I picked him up from the airport, my heart raced. We held hands the entire drive home. Having a man in the house again, felt really good.
I think the mom is the problem now, bro. Like, why she said it felt good having a man in the house again. Like, bro, you smashing your mom is crazy work. That's insane. Like, that is wild to me, bro. Like, dude, what do you...
I had a list of chores for him to do and he started almost immediately. I told him I wanted to thank him for his work and he suggested we go out to a nice restaurant. I was excited, since I mostly cook at home for myself and it has honestly been a few months since I've been on a date.
Why would you call you going to get dinner with your son a date? How was that a date? I think the mom is a freaky deaky ad woman. Coming out a freaky deaky ad woman if you see this.
Got dressed and we went to a nice Italian restaurant he picked. He was so attentive the entire night. It was sweet, and when he suggested I have another glass of wine, I didn't hesitate. We went for a short walk after dinner and I hung off his arm and we talked about his girlfriend. It was the happiest I've been in a while. When he drove us home, he grabbed my hand and held it, initiating the contact. When we got home, we talked more and he massaged my shoulders and then neck. It was heaven. I realized that I was enjoying being touched too much, and excused myself, saying I was going to bed. I went to my room and put a towel on my bed and got comfortable. I was about to play with myself but my son walked in. He then saw me, obviously exposed. He then started smirking. Press share and more.
Honestly, bro, smashing your mom, that is very diabolical, bro. Like, this definitely didn't happen, but like at the same time, man, I don't know, bro. That's crazy work, man. That's crazy work.
Decided to play with my brother's hot dog whilst he was asleep, but he woke up and he ended up doing me. I, 21F, and my
I beg your finest pardon again. Like, what do you mean by that, bro? Why so many stories, Sweet Home Alabama vibes, bro? And sisters and brothers doing crazy stuff, bro. Like, what is going on, Goody Gang?
old brother, 24M, did something really crazy a few months ago. A few months back my family had hosted a dinner party with lots of people over and there was lots to eat and drink. At the end of the night we sent my brother up to his room a little earlier than the rest of us because he threw up and was super out of it. My mom had told me to help him to his room and put him to sleep. It was a pain in the back too. I basically helped him out his clothes since it reeked a bit and put him into his bed, and he was just in boxers. While I was doing all of this he kept apologizing to me for having to help him like this and thanked me many times over and told me he loved me many times. My mom was going to bed but had asked me to stay up a little longer to keep an eye on him, in case he got alcohol poisoning or needed something, and I agreed since I was going to be up anyways. And now this is where things take a turn. So my brother eventually falls asleep but kicks his blanket off in the process. But as I was going to pick it up for him I saw him with a full-on Hard Rock Johnson just piercing through his boxers and it really caught my eye.
You know, I might have lost some words. Why are you looking at your little brother's tallywag or wiener, bro? Wee-wee. Bro, I'm gonna say wee-wee. Why are you looking at his wee-wee like that, bro? Pause.
I know I shouldn't have looked but it was just sticking out and I got really curious as I've lusted over him in the past but never
Ah! Oh, that hurt. You lusted over your little brother in the past? Bro, you're cooked. Coming out cooked if you see this. That's kind of crazy. That's wild, man. That's wild. If I had Butler in here, bro, he would get smacked in here, respectfully.
Seen my brother cloth us before. I don't know what going to me but one thing led to another and I went from just looking at it to full on playing with him. He then woke up and smirked at me. Press share and more for part 2.
He woke up and smirked? Hey, sometimes sharing is not caring, bro. Real talk.
My cousin oiled me up on the couch and ended up doing me.
I beg your finest pardon. Dude, honestly, bro, that's crazy work. Wild, bro.
I wear shorts that only go to my middle thigh in the house a lot, and I noticed him looking at my legs. He wasn't staring, but now that I knew he found me attractive, I just noticed. Have you tried this? Let me know.
No one tried that. No one does that unless you have. Have you done it? Yes or no? That'd be weird, ain't it?
And it didn't bother me. I didn't like it, but honestly, I didn't care. Random man on the street look at me all the time like I'm a piece of meat. At least my cousin
A piece of meat is insane, bruh.
knows me and cares about me. Nothing crazy happened until earlier. We were in the couch together and I had my legs over his legs. This wasn't a move. This is just how we sit. And we are close. We hug and cuddle. This isn't some new thing.
Yeah, I won't be doing that at my cousin, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Having your legs over my legs and you cuddling on a couch, I wouldn't do that, bro. I will not do that, man.
And there was no intention behind it. I noticed as he was getting a little excited. He then smirked and looked at me. Press share and more for part 2.
Dude, why do you, bro, I don't get that, dude. Why say press share? Post the whole story.
What is a secret that you will never tell anyone? 1. When I was in 4th grade, I put mustard in one of my friend's burgers because he had told me that he hated mustard. Turns out he was actually allergic. He didn't come to school for 3 days and I was terrified. To this date, no one knows that I did it.
Yeah, that boy died, respectfully. He died, bro.
Walked into the living room and froze. There was my step-cousin, riding her boyfriend right on the couch. She was so into it, her back arched, eyes closed, hips grinding. They didn't even notice me. I should have left, but I couldn't look away.
Huh? You can look away? What do you mean? That turned you on?
The way she moved, the sounds she made, it was all so intense. Suddenly she noticed me. Our eyes met, and instead of stopping, she grinned and kept going, even more passionately.
That's a freaky ass cut. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. What if I find one of them, though? You know what I'm saying? Respect. I'm playing. Stop.
Backed out, my heart pounding. The image of them burned into my mind. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying what I'd seen, feeling a mix of shock and something else I didn't want to admit. The next night, as I lay in bed, my door creaked open. She slipped in, wearing just a loose t-shirt. Without a word, she climbed onto my bed, straddling me. "I saw the way you looked at me," she whispered, her breath hot against my ear.
Hi, brother.
Before I could react, she kissed me, deep and hungry. My hands found her hips and she started to move, grinding against me. It was electric. We moved together, our bodies in perfect sync, wild and intense. When it was over, she slipped out, leaving me breathless and wanting more.
That's your cousin, bro. That's your cousin.
I accidentally pounded my girlfriend's mother.
Oh,
So I
wow.
didn't know. 3 years
You
ago, I
didn't know.
found out that my ex-girlfriend, of 3 years, was cheating on me not with one friend but 2. I was at work at the time and received an email from someone I didn't know. Subject line: I thought you should know. The video was of my ex and a friend going at it and her moaning his name. I was pissed and decided to go to the apartment we shared. Open the door and hear moaning. Make my way to the bedroom and there she is with a different friend acting.
Walking in on your girl getting clapped. It's crazy work, man. Crazy work. Real talk. That's insane.
I pull out my phone and record for about 20 seconds and then I tap him on the shoulder and tell him to get out of my apartment.
My son ended up plowing the heck out of me. I smiled, thinking he was about to crack a joke. But instead he whispered, "Mom, do you know why I really wanted us to come here alone?" His voice was soft, almost too casual for the weight of the question. I paused, a knot forming in my stomach. "Why?"
A what in your stomach? Huh?
I asked cautiously. "I wanted to tell you something. Something I've been keeping to myself for a long time." He sounded serious now, which made my mind race. What could he possibly be holding back? There was a long silence, then he pulled back slightly, propping himself up on his elbow so he could look me in the eyes. "Mom, I know you're not really my mother." I blinked. What? What are you talking about?" He nodded, his face completely earnest. "I found out a few months ago. I did a DNA test on a whim. It came back saying you and Dad aren't my biological parents. That's why I started digging, trying to figure out the truth." I sat up, my heart pounding in my chest. "What? How could that be? I gave birth to you. I was there. I remember everything." He shook his head slowly. "I don't know how to explain it either. But the DNA doesn't lie. I didn't want to believe it at first. But then I found some old letters. They were from a woman who claimed to be my real mother. She
But dang, if he's smashing her, if he's smashing his might be mom, that's not her mom, I don't see no problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't see no problem. Real talk. If that's not his mom, I don't see no problem. Real talk. But if that's his mom, that's crazy work.
said there was a mix-up at the hospital. I was speechless. How could this be possible? And Mom, he continued, it wasn't just a random mix-up. This woman, she's Dad's old lover. He knew about it all along. I gasped.
Oh, wow.
What? No, that can't be. He nodded again, his face dark. I confronted him after I found the letters. And he admitted it. He said he stayed with you because he didn't want you to know. He didn't want you to find out the truth. And he figured after all these years, it wouldn't matter anymore. I was reeling, my mind spinning with.
So the dad cheated, bro. L dad, man.
I had to sleep with my sister to prove to my parents that she was obsessed with me.
That was that's a bad way to prove to your parents, man.
All started when she would bury her head under my skirt. She kept challenging me to climb an old treehouse, which I finally did, only to realize she could see up my skirt as I climbed. I screamed at her to stop looking, and she acted like I was disgusting for thinking she was looking. The whole situation was super weird, so I just let it go and never mentioned it again. A few months later, I caught her looking at my photos on my phone. Of course, a big fight happened, and my parents got involved. She told them she was trying to delete an ugly photo I had taken of her somehow. My parents saw it as if we were both in the wrong. I didn't have anything scandalous there, but it just felt so wrong for her to be looking at my photos. 2 years later, when we were moving to a new house, my sister and I found out we would be sharing the same bathroom. My sister acted annoyed, but I could see the smile on her face. She never knocked when I was in the shower.
Bruh.
Instead, she just tried to see if the door was locked. Eventually, the inevitable happened. I forgot to lock the door, and she barged in. Fortunately, I was still dressed. I told my parents about it, and instead of the solution being that she should knock, the solution was that I should use the guest bathroom downstairs. Just when I thought it couldn't get worse, it did. A few nights ago, after a family barbecue, I went back to my room and noticed that the pants I had changed out of before everyone arrived were out of the laundry basket and on the floor. When I got up to do the laundry the next morning, I realized that the underwear I was wearing with those pants was missing. I wanted to scream my sister's name and storm into her room, but
Yo, why is sister taking that man clothes, bro? I think she wanted to, bro, that's insane. That's crazy work, man.
be pointless. The idea of confronting her about it and her trying to manipulate me again was so exhausting that I simply didn't say anything. I knew my younger sister was guilty, but I had no concrete proof, and I was sure that if I confronted her or told my parents, she would just try to manipulate me again and make me feel crazy. As I suspected, a few days later, I noticed that some of my white and black underwear were missing from the
That's
dresser.
weird.
But
That
this time,
could
I
be
didn't
weird.
say anything and acted like I didn't know anything. The next part of my plan was a bit sneaky, as I suspected. A few days later, I noticed that some of the white and black underwear were missing from my dresser. But this time, I didn't say anything and acted like I didn't know anything. The next part of my plan was a bit sneaky. I was thinking about how to make her hit on me or something like that so I could record it and show my parents. So, I decided on something. My parents were going to another city for the wedding of 2 of their friends. That day would be perfect to put the plan into action, so the day arrived. I thought of all the ways to provoke her, and the most effective way I found was to pretend I was using the bathroom and stay inside wearing only the bottom of my bikini, waiting for her to barge in as she always did. As expected, she broke in through the door as usual, but I didn't expect the reaction she had. She stood there.
Wait, did he say bikini? Why is he wearing a bikini? Pause.
Staring at me as if she wanted to pounce on me, like a wolf looks at its prey defensively, but at the same time with a scared expression. This time, I did it differently. I didn't scream. I didn't move away. I didn't make a scene. I just looked into her eyes with a tempting expression. I smiled and asked, "Do you like what you see?" She was startled again and said, "Of course, I've always hoped for this sight." At that moment, I knew my plan was going to work. Now you can check if there is a part 2 by pressing.
No, I'm not doing none of that, bro. Pause. Not doing that. All right, man. That's enough TikTok story times. If y'all want to see a part